everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So the other day I put a little poll on my Instagram. I'll pop my Instagram here, you should go follow it, link in the description to all my social media. And on this poll I asked what video you wanted to see, and you guys voted on my fall reading list. So I am here to show you guys all the books that are on my fall reading list for 2021. And don't forget to comment below what books are on your reading list because I would absolutely love to know. Before we fully jump into today's video, I wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who has been subscribing and supporting my last video. I will link it up in here so you can check it out. I'm so happy that you guys have all been loving it. And you know, I don't really have that much to say other than it just makes me really happy to know that others are enjoying my videos. So yeah, just wanted to say a little thank you and hello to all of my new subscribers. I don't want to let this introduction go on for too long, so let's just jump right into all of the books. I actually have quite a few, so hopefully I'll be able to read them all. If not, that's fine. I'll continue reading them whenever I feel like it, and I will be reviewing all of them in a future video. So if you are not subscribed, please subscribe so that way you can see that video and you can turn on the notification bell so you can be notified as soon as that video is posted, which will be in a couple weeks. Alrighty, I think we should just dive right into all the books. I'm just going to divide it into a few stacks. They're not in like any specific order. If you watched my book haul from last week, you probably would have seen some of these ones. A lot of these ones are new books to my shelf, which is exciting. First up, we have Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. This book starts off in the 1600s, and I don't know that much else about it, but it has to do with magic and I believe Salem witch trials, not entirely sure. If you read this one, I would love to know your thoughts about this. I know this is a super popular book to read in the fall time and I am excited to read it, and I'll probably say that I'm excited to read it about every single one of these books. Next up is another witchy one. We have The Once and Future Witches. I mentioned this one in my recent book haul. I love this cover. Is that not just such a beautiful cover? And the pages are like, let's see, gotta focus it if you can tell. The pages are like this really fun texture. They're like kind of vintagey pages, a little bit ripped. I accidentally kicked my camera. Hold on. Okay, hopefully that's like centered. Anyway, this book has the most beautiful cover. The pages are super fun. They have like a cool texture, little vintagey vibe, a little bit, I don't know how to describe it, but I love it. I don't know if you guys are painters at all, but the paper of this cover kind of feels like a really nice watercolor paper. So that just makes me a little bit happy as an artist. Next one has nothing to do with witches. It's just a really cute fall one. It's The Cafe Between a Pumpkin and Pie. I picked this one up a few weeks ago at a bookstore and it's still been sitting on my shelf, but I am excited to get to this one. It was actually written by 3 authors, which I thought was super, super unique. What drew me to this book was just the cover. I am very drawn to specific covers. This book starts off with the annual Halloween parade gathering at this cafe. I really don't know that much about it, but I think that this will be a cute one, and it was kind of in the recommended area in my local bookstore, so I picked it up. Next one on my list has been highly recommended by other booktubers and just people online, which is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, I think that's how you say her name. I'm probably wrong, I'm terrible at pronouncing things. So this is another book that's on my list, and I actually asked for this one for my birthday, and I'm very excited to now have it. And once I finish reading it, I plan to watch the movie. It has a little Netflix sticker on it, which unfortunately I cannot take off, and it is just stuck on. It's printed on the cover, which is not my favorite thing. But aside from that, this is so pretty. And I also just realized that the swirls make an R. I don't know if that was obvious to anybody else, but I just noticed that. That is very cool. I love that attention to detail on this cover. This book takes place in an isolated gray stone mansion on the windswept Cornish coast. That sounds exciting. One of the reviewers says it's excellent, perfect, mastery from surprise to surprise, so very intrigued to check this one out. To our next little section, kind of, as it happens to be all of these ones I have read so far. We have The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I had to read this in my English class and I absolutely loved it, and I bought myself a copy just for fun. It is 20 pages, it's a short story, and I I am super excited to reread this one during the spooky season. This one I got at Barnes & Noble as one of those mystery book dates. So this is Killer Content. This is the first book by Olivia Black that she published, I believe, which I always love reading an author's debut book. So this one was really, really good. I will be doing a full review in an October reading wrap up at some point, probably around the first week of November, so subscribe to see that video. And this one kind of has to do with social media a little bit, so it's more of a modern murder mystery, which I enjoyed. This book is quite predictable, I will say, but it's super, super enjoyable, and I read it the entire thing, even though I felt like I knew it was going to happen. At the very end, when you find out who the killer was, it was not who I was expecting at all, so I loved that, but full review to come. My throat is so dry today, what the heck. If you're anywhere on BookTube, I'm pretty sure that you've seen this book recommended countless times. This is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I did read it. I gave it a 4 stars. It was not my favorite, but I enjoyed it. It was very long, I will say. I have read some books that I just felt like could have been cut down a lot. This book wasn't one of those, even though it was long. I feel like everything that was in here was necessary, and it is a pretty good fall read. Definitely has that dark academia vibe. If you would love reading dark academia books, I'm sure that this is going to be a book that you would fully enjoy. I, however, are more light academia, maybe a little bit more happy. This book is definitely on the dark academia side, which intrigues me to read it, and now I know dark academia is not necessarily the genre of books that I love. This has now been on my list for a while, so I am happy that I read it, and I checked it off my list, and now we just move on. This one was one of my favorites, going back to the witchy reads. I have been loving witchy reads. As a side note, like, I don't know why. If you have one that you specifically love, please comment it down below, because I am obsessed with witch books at the moment. This is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. She's also a debut author. This is her first book, and she has another book coming out. I don't remember the exact month, but I know it's coming out in like early mid-ish 2022, and I am so excited to read it. I absolutely loved her writing. This book reminded me a little bit of Harry Potter, and it really just put me in the fall vibe. It takes place in the school, but it also has like all these nature aspects. There's witches and magic, and it was just such a good fall read. And I found this one in Target just a few weeks ago, so this was a new one to my reading list, and it was just such a good book. I loved it. Alrighty, we're making our way through. Like I said, there are quite a few books that are on my fall reading list. These 3 I kind of just put together on my bookshelf because I thought that they looked really cool together. This one doesn't have anything to do with fall. I just wanted to read it. It's called Amsterdam by Ian McEwan. I believe he's the author of Enduring Love. Never heard of that book, never heard of this one either. I found this book in an old and new bookstore that recently opened around my area. I tend to be attracted to longer books, so I was actively looking for shorter books. This one's about 200 pages, which is pretty much why I wanted to get it, just because it was a shorter one, but I thought that it was interesting. The cover is very intriguing, I would say. And once I read what the book is about, I found it to be very interesting as well. So there are 3 main characters. There's 2 men and 1 woman, and as we find out just by reading the little blurb that's in the book, both of the 2 men were romantically involved with the same woman at different points in their lives, and somehow events bring them all together, and they just kind of navigate their way through it. Seems to be what is talked about right here, but we will find out once I actually read it. And this one was also the winner of the 1998 Booker Prize. Hopefully that means that it's good. Okay, I know I was just saying that I'm actively trying to read shorter books, and this book is about 800 pages. So this is completely opposite from that, but this is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. Last year I read all of the Twilight books pretty much back to back. It was a lot, but I loved it. And I realize now that I have read over like 2,000 pages of vampire novels. It's a little bit embarrassing to admit, but honestly, it was a fun adventure, and I don't regret reading a single one of those books. And I'm just gonna add another 800 pages to that. So Midnight Sun, if you don't know what this book is it's Twilight, but from Edward's perspective. I don't have that much to say about it, but I'm excited. This book is so long. Oh my gosh. I feel like I should make a whole video of me reading this book and and my thoughts about it. If you want to see that video, comment down below. I'd be happy to make it. Oh my gosh, 800 pages. And Edward's not even my favorite character from the book. I am a solid team Jacob. Edward is a little bit pretentious and stuck up to me, and a little bit toxic. Maybe a lot of bit toxic. Okay, next book. This one was talked about a lot on like Book Talk a while ago, and I don't know if it's still as popular, but it's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I bought this one a little bit ago, and it's been on my shelf and I've been saving it for this time of the year to read. Since I've had this on my shelf, I've seen a lot of reviews about it, and people are saying that it's very slow in the beginning, and that's a little bit concerning because I like a good medium-paced book, but slow books really just takes a bit to get through it for me. I am really hopeful that I do end up enjoying this one because it's been on my reading list for quite a few months now, and I would really hate to not like it. So I'm trying now not to look at reviews about this book because I know so many people have loved it, which is why it was on my list in the first place. So that's kind of all I had to say. But I have two more books that I want to mention, and those are the books that I'm reading currently. The first is The Night Circus by Erin Morenstern. I am about 100 pages through this one, and you know, I'm 100 pages through it. It's fairly slow. The writing style of this book is very similar to that of The Secret History, so I would say if you really love The Secret History, I think that you would like this one, but I haven't fully finished. I still have like 400 pages left of this book. It's a long one, but the imagery is so vivid and so beautiful. I love the writing of this book. And the second book that I'm reading is Dune. This is a very ambitious one for me. I have never read science fiction, and I don't think I will be continuing to read science fiction. Well, I was in the middle of talking about Dune when my camera overheated and shut off, so that was fun. Let's get back to Dune now. Okay, like I was saying, science fiction is not my favorite. Am I reading this book just because Timothée Chalamet is in the movie? Yes, that would be correct. Oh my gosh, this is such a random side note, but I have to show you guys what happened to my book. It is a tragedy. If you don't know, I have a pet rabbit. I'll put a little picture up here. He's the cutest little guy ever, and I love him very, very much. But this little man loves to chew on everything, and this book was one of the things that he chewed on. Right in like, did he have to do that? Thankfully, this book is black on the spine, so we just went over it with Sharpie, so you can't tell, but I can see it, and I know what he did. And I have not fully forgiven him for doing this. He has chewed this book. He's also chewed my copy of The Handmaid's Tale. So rude, but I love him still. Anyways, so Dune. I am 350 pages into this book. I have been reading this book for a month. Not daily. I kind of stopped reading it for a little bit. My goal was to finish this book by the time that the movie came out, which is now tomorrow. I don't think I can read 300 pages in the next day. This is the book that I'm currently reading. Is it an adventure? Yes. Do I know what's happening in it? I really don't know. I am gonna do my best to finish this one because I set a goal and I don't want to let Timothy down. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this one. Anyways, these are the two books that I am currently reading. They are extremely different from each other, but yeah, here we are. Well, anyways, those were all of the books that are on my fall reading list, and I am very excited to continue reading them and reviewing them in the next couple weeks, and I will keep you guys updated, obviously, on all of that stuff. I'd really love it if you guys would let me know what other videos you would like to see on this channel. I absolutely love talking about books, but I don't want to keep repeating the same books in my videos, so I'm trying to find ways to incorporate lots of other things that I love, like plants. I would love to make a video about plants. I have tons of houseplants. I'm thinking maybe about some fall fashion videos. I'd love to continue making book videos, obviously. It's one of my passions. I have so many book videos planned for the future, and if you want to see those, you know, once again, subscribe. It'll be down there. So, you know, you can help me out and comment below any other videos that you would like to see from me. I'm excited to continue making different types of videos, book videos, fashion videos, plant videos, maybe art videos. I paint a lot. I've studied art for like 12 years, so I'd love to incorporate some other of my passions onto this channel as well. You know, those are my closing thoughts. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I'd love to know what books are on your fall reading list. Feel free to comment a couple titles down below. Follow me on any social media. Everything will be linked down below. My Instagram, Spotify, that counts as a social media, I guess. That'll be linked down below. Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, obviously my YouTube channel. You're on that right now. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.